Hi everyone. While we're waiting for everybody else, it might be a good idea to quickly maybe go off mute, try and share a little bit about you guys, what you guys do, and then it gives us an idea on what to expect, so we can try and cover some of the topics which you might be interested in. Yeah, so I can see Andy has just gone on camera, so if you want to share, or Paul, I can see. You just joined as well. So everybody can go on off mute and please share whether you're investor, sourcer, agent, or any property business, etc. What you would be expecting from this session. So we'll try and tailor it.
Well, I'm happy to go first. Neil Rabin here.
Hey, Neil.
Hey, Nitin. Nice to virtually meet you. I am currently in an office, so I don't really want to turn my camera on, but I can if necessary. Um, yeah, just burning the midnight oil over here. I'm a property investor. I have a network of people that I've worked with for years. Always trying to source properties. Always a problem. Always finding that sources are either very good or very expensive or a bit of both. Um, Usually the two tie up together. If they're expensive, then generally they're worth their weight. I'm just trying to find other ways to find properties. I'm specifically interested in HMOs. That is my target buying area.
Cool.
And yeah, I have business around that. That's pretty
Okay.
much it.
Thank you. Thanks. Well done for going first, and don't work too late. But yeah, hopefully we can cover some of your
Al-
points.
Always working late, always working late. Got
That's
to put
nice.
in the grind, right?
Hi guys, how are you?
Nice one. Hi, Andy.
Hello, hello. How many of us joined?
I think we're still waiting for a few others. I think about half a
Mhm.
dozen or something people on the call now. So yeah, but I think there will be more joining.
All right, so start. I sold today a block of apartment deal in Soho. I made 50,000 pounds sourcing fee. Was not bad day. I'm the best in the deal finding, and I'm not looking deals to online. They come to me directly.
Nice,
Just it. Right, next one.
nice one. Thanks, Sandy, for joining us, and well done on cracking that deal. Okay, anyone else who wants to go next? I think I've got Paul and Michael. Anyone who wants to go next? Okay, I know this is like one of the odd times people are traveling sometimes or at work, so it's not everybody is able to sometimes go off mute. But yeah, I think it would be nice if we could understand. Even if you can't actually speak, feel free to put that in the chat so we can see what is it that you guys do, whether you are in the property investor category, sourcer category, or a state agency, letting agency, or a bit of everything, which we find a lot of our clients are. So if you'd like to share that, and what is it that you're looking for from this session, so we can actually cover that as well. Okay. Anyways, in the meantime, I think what we will do is we'll basically introduce. I've got Zhao, who's one of my colleagues. He might have spoken to some of you guys who's joined us. Zhao, do you want to have a quick one-line intro?
Hi everyone. I'm Zhao from Property Diving side. I'm working in the sales division, and also we've got the Alex, our AI assistant as well, who have may called you guys before, and I'm just working with her as well to make sure you guys are getting the most out of your trial with us. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you. And I think I'll go next to try and quickly introduce, and then we can get cracking. So there's a lot to cover, and if it's small, it would allow us to actually go a bit deeper into people's problems, what they're looking at. So hi, I'm Nitin Agrawal. I'm the founder of Property Deals Insight. If you guys have been with us, then you might have seen me on the YouTube or on some of these webinars before. So, which basically, I think what we'd like to try and do today is quickly go through some of the latest features of Property Deals Inside. And if you're new to us, then we'll obviously give you a quick whistle stop tour of the product, how we are leveraging different parts of the platform and AI. There's a lot which is happening behind the scenes, so I wanted to get an understanding of the audience, what kind of things are interesting to them. Accordingly, we can try and focus on things. And generally, we try and cover things like motivated vendors, direct vendor deals. How can you kind of automate some of those tasks? Where can you use AI? And want to understand what your problems are. I think Neil's mentioned some of the things already. I just noticed Teresa has just joined us. Hi, Teresa. So we're just doing quick introductions before we get cracking. So
Good afternoon. Sorry,
that's all right.
I had to pick up my daughter, so I was a few minutes late, but I just wanted to say hello and yeah, hopefully to start using the software again. I know you and I spoke before and I took a little bit of a break, so hello everyone.
All right, thanks for joining us again. I think we were just saying earlier, this is one of those times when people are traveling, picking kids, taking them to classes and everything. I myself just basically came back when picking my son from school today, so it's one of those times. But thanks a lot for joining this
She's
time.
here with me, waving at the screen, thinking that she's part of the webinar, so starting her early.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Cool. All right. Cool. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and give a bit of a intro in terms of what we do, and then there's quite a lot that has been happening. If we can actually get either a show of hands or just basically just in the chat, people who have been using us before, and obviously Teresa, you've been in and out, but yeah, hopefully we can get you using the platform a bit more and get some of the automation sorted on your side, so there's less legwork to do. So I'd like to try and get an understanding of which parts will be more interesting for you guys, what all things you understand well, so I don't bore you guys with those things, and any things which are more interesting, finding deals, how do you get in touch with people directly, direct to vendor, bypassing agents. Hopefully, we don't have many agents in this call, so they don't feel bad about it. And even actually, to be honest, for agents, we kind of help a lot of agency customers as well to get new vendors. So if I just wanted to get that feel for what your guys are after. I notice Patricia's joined us as well. Hi, Patricia, thanks for joining. Okay. I think without further ado, I think let's get cracking. Let me try and close about 50 screens which I have open then, and make sure I'm showing you guys the right bits and bobs. Okay, cool. Right, let me quickly share my screen and just wanted to see. Actually, before I do the same thing, how many of you guys are excited by AI or are using AI in your daily lives or in your property journey, I would say.
I'm hugely using it all the time, every day, and almost every piece of work that I do.
Brilliant. And then
I'm a technologist, though.
fair enough. And is it kind of so you're almost addicted to AI? It kind of
Yeah, that's the right way to say addicted. Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Everyone, I guess, addicted these days.
The efficiency gains are
It's
huge.
so scary about data centers, if they cut energy, then just it. I'm worrying about data centers now. My my biggest worries. What's going to happen if a new nuclear bomb attack a data center?
Oh dear.
And I can't use AI anymore.
Well, I think that's where well, I don't want to bore people with the techie stuff, but yeah, I mean, I was going to say that that's where you have to actually put in data centers in different geographies. I guess, but yeah, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems. Suddenly, if AI stops working, what would people do? What would be the life if you have to think what you have to say to people? How do you respond to customers? Have to write it yourself. That would be a big thing. But yeah, I think we are massively, massively using and leveraging AI to the point that we've
That was
actually.
funny that you said you start laughing yourself when you said to reply people by yourself. That was funny.
I think yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things. It's basically we've got. I mean, we are massively in using AI, and to the point we've actually got a couple of new AI employees now. So I'm assuming some of you guys might have been called by Alex onto this webinar. I think I know a couple of people definitely who are invited and they join. But that's kind of allowing us to give you guys a bit more attention because it's not just about using AI and not caring about the customers, but we monitor all the conversations that allows us to kind of prioritize who do we need to talk to, how do we actually help them out. I mean, just to give an example, and and I'll talk about it more if required. But one of our customers who uses our prospecting services in their entire portal system, so we've kind of helping their all of their clients as well. They are actually we're working with them to create like an AI model for them, so AI SDR, which is helping them make offers on the properties which they are actually looking to buy and inquire about properties which are becoming available. So they've got a massive list of I don't know, some 50,000 people they want to be going after, trying to understand if their property is becoming available, and they've got this list. Some people have got like a massive list. They've been creating it over Excel sheets or CRMs, etc. So one of the biggest challenges, you've got all of this thing. How do you actually do the legwork? How do you get through quickly? Which are the five people worth talking to today? So those things, it can be really, really useful. So we're helping them in that manner. Even from our own perspective, we've been actually using it to organize meetings with our clients and also, if you guys have noticed, within the DirectMail platform, which we have now added the AI assistant within there as well. So it's kind of early days for the AI assistant in there, but we are adding it, leveraging it massively, which is allowing our clients to get the productivity benefits, definitely. All right. And if anybody is interested in talking more on that topic, I'm guessing Andy and Neil might be. Feel free to tell me, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it,
Okay.
and we can cover some of those aspects.
One of my mates might join as well. He's been
Oh, absolutely.
he's my software engineer currently, but he's into property, but I'm calling him genius. He started AI in 2011.
Nice.
Yeah, back then. I was like, how is possible that, but yeah, so
Yeah.
many other people, software engineers, very innovative, I would say, creators, they've been introduced, a long time ago that you never.
Absolutely, and I think this is one of the things where people suddenly, well, people have been thinking that AI just suddenly came in and became so popular in the last couple of years. It's not. It's been there for a while. It's just kind of it's become more approachable. You are able to get access to it. It's obviously improved. The models have improved. The data centers, as you were talking about, they've improved, and that is allowing us to leverage it a bit more. I mean, it's not something which is new. Of course, the evolution has been very, very rapid. So that's been definitely one of the big reasons why things have been going quite quickly. So we've been making waves quite a lot. So we've been actually shortlisted by the Reputed Negotiator Award. So we're one of the top 6, 7 companies in the country now, which are and the category which we are basically nominated for is how we are helping real estate professionals get access to off-market and marketing leads, basically automated nurturing, etc. We already got a bronze award from Kerfuffle, which is another major platform which gives the awards. And now we are in the company of 20 IM Property Group, Spectre, SME Professionals, and some of the other large names. We are powering these large scale systems as well. So other than using PDI directly on the platform. There are about 2,500 agency branches all over the UK, which are powered by our data, the prospecting information around motivated vendors, we call it within our platform. But it's used by some of the best professionals across the country to find their next vendor, next landlord, and those are the same capabilities you're able to obviously access through the PDI platform, plus a lot more actually when you're directly through us. But yeah, so that's something which has been now recognized at industry levels. That's been all thanks to our customers and how the evolution has been happening for PDI. Anyways, I'll kick off just for a couple of new faces who haven't got an understanding of what PDI has been doing, what we are. So very quickly, Property Deals Insight is one of the UK's most powerful data platforms. So we provide data and insights into the whole of UK market. Put it this way, we do all the heavy lifting. We connect to all the trusted data sources, things like the Land Registry, the Ministry of Housing, Ordnance Survey, Ofsted, Ofcom, portal data, anything and everything, council data, and now recently we've also launched the planning data, ownership data information. By having all of that data points, we bring it together. We do behind the scene, we take away all the pain. And we've put together the platform which is allowing us to give you access to off-market opportunities which you can't find anywhere else, and basically finding deals. How much should you pay for a deal? How much is it something really worth? People are always after below market value opportunities. I want to find deals, but how do you really know how much is it really worth? So all those things you can actually do it instantly through the platform. Do your due diligence. And we will now also powering financial institutions, but I'll skip that part for this conversation. But if anybody is interested, feel free to ping us directly for that. And this one, we will focus on direct access to motivated vendors. How can we get that? And I think, Neil, you mentioned trying to find a better way of identifying deals. How can I source them? How can I actually get in touch with people in bulk? And then there are heat maps, etc., etc. There's quite a lot to cover, so I will try and quickly skim through things. If there is any topic which is more interesting for you guys, feel free to put that in the chat, and we'll try and cover that in more depth than answer those other things. So very quickly, there has been major improvements in the direct mailing platform, which is our AI-powered direct mailing letter sending platform, which allows you to get in touch with vendors directly in a branded format, so you don't have to be spending hours or days putting together thousands or hundreds of letters, or basically not get in touch with them. So you can now instantly get access to the tech which is used by agents and other professionals all over the country. And the direct mailing rates have been massively discounted. Plus, we'll tell you if you've got a big list, an Excel sheet or boring Excel sheets, if you've got some of those things and you would like to bring some of your own leads and get in touch with them through the PDI platform. In fact, that doesn't even require a subscription, so you can actually just reach out to any of the members. I think, Andy, you wanted to know some of those things. So we will cover that very quickly, and there have been major improvements in that. So we'll basically show you that as well. All right, I think what I will do is very quickly jump onto the platform. So this is me logged into the back end of the platform. If you don't know where it is, Zhao, can you please share the link of sign up page? Anybody who's not already a registered member, you can actually just create a free account and start using it instantly. There's a free trial, so you don't have to put in any card details or anything. Okay, let's go. Well, let's start with my favorite, which is finding deals. I guess a lot of people are always interested in finding deals. How much, or where can you find the best deals? Whether you're looking at on-market deals, off-market deals, and direct to vendor. We talked about it. Anybody here looking for rent-to-rent stuff? I think.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, West End, only the West End, Mayfair.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Andy, I think we go back a long way. So Andy was one of the first person to actually get in touch with us when we did not used to do rent to rent. This was many years ago. So I think he was like, well, you should get into rent to rent. So I think we ended up building a rent to rent proposition, which was off the back of our discussions with New Age Sourcing. So I think that's what we were doing. Anyways, let's quickly look at Deal Finder, which is where a lot of
Yeah,
my
I would like to ask a question about yeah, repossessed and from deals from receivers specifically and distressed, people for central London, like you know.
okay.
Is there any chance we can somehow, get through your website this
So
distressed deals?
there's a combination. What I'll do is I'll cover that, and I think if I haven't covered it completely, so remind me towards the end because what I wanted to show is what you can do straight away through the platform, and then
Mm-hmm.
behind the scene, there's been a lot of bespoke sourcing, and we do for our clients where basically they're busy and they just want to do it in bulk. For instance, I know you guys work on these deals a lot. So we can show you how you can do those things on the platform. But then if you're actually interested in more sophisticated
Let's so
solutions,
let's say if we have cash buyers, right? Hedge funds. Normally they're looking for a very high yield or anyone, to flip quick flips or
so
buy low and buy sell it, and sell it not that high, but just for quick flip.
yeah.
Um, is there any way we can access through
So
your website?
yeah, and definitely. And I think I mean we help a number of funds and asset managers who are basically looking at assets. I mean, some people look just simple things, as you mentioned. Others are looking at commercial, mixed use, all sorts of things. So we do quite a few different things. There are commercial is currently not on the core platform, but we do it behind the scenes for them.
Mm-hmm.
But for residential stuff, yes, you can do pretty much everything on the platform itself as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so what I'll do is when you come into Deal Finder, so I'll try and quickly skim through some of these things, and please keep putting your questions in the chat as well. So I will try and cover those questions as we go along, and if I haven't covered, then we'll pause and then we can take questions at that time, if that's okay. Right. Cool. So within Deal Finder, well, basically, what it allows you to do is help you find deals. And what we've done is we've basically categorized them into different sourcing strategies. Commonly used ones. Well, my favorite is buy, refurb, refinance, giving you the ability to add value, where you can do up some properties. Looking at struggling sellers, basically, where there's an opportunity to actually give below market value offers or people who are motivated and they will basically be willing to take lower offers. So that's always a good way to crack. I mean, I've got quite a few of those ones myself. Auctions, a lot of people are interested in auctions. If you're looking, don't want the hassle of having to go for planning approvals, etc., then you can actually look for these cash deals. Short lease is another major one. And then I think just mentioned repossessions, HMOs. I think somebody earlier was saying they wanted HMOs. So yeah, so you can actually find HMOs in here as well. And then there are other categories where deals have come back to the market, etc., etc. So there are a whole bunch of different strategies which you can actually look. A lot of these ones are on market. However, we'll also tell you how you can actually bypass the agent if you wanted to do that. But then if you want to look at off-market stock as well, so then there's also that is another topic which we'll be covering under the motivated vendor area as well. And if you already have a link, so let's just actually maybe start with something. Let's just go for price reduce first. So these are under biggest bargains, and if you want to put in any postcode or area, let's just put London. Normally the yields at London are a bit rubbish, but let's just go London. And you can actually specify the search radius. I'll just put it to 10 miles. You can filter it out to further when you basically are, which area you're specifically after. And if you're not sure on which areas, we also have a feature called heat maps, which can give you identification of where are the best performing, highest yielding properties, and some of the things which I think what Andy mentioned earlier in terms of finding them high yielding opportunities. So some of our clients, so there is a large a fund which we are working with. So they actually look in the Northwest and they are so we're giving them bespoke data where they have actually get access to all of the Northwest stock, every single one of them. So there's certain million properties which we are going through, skimming through, and then identifying certain.
But the thing is, sometimes they want to be, off market.
Yeah,
So
yeah, which is what I'm saying. So basically, so not 3 million properties in the Northwest are on market. So we are obviously looking at a very detailed sourcing through that data for them. It just depends on how many deals they want, because their mandate is they need to buy close to about 500 properties every 6 months or so, and then they're looking to scale up that. So they're backed by PE money and everything. So it all depends on whether you're looking for a dozen deals, hundreds deals, thousands deals, who would basically accordingly can find you a solution. Okay, so yeah, so this one basically is just looking through, as it says, its biggest bargains, where people have been actually reducing prices quite a lot. So what you can see is you can actually filter it out and see where people have been reducing prices, generally speaking. So yeah, so basically this is actually showing you properties which have been reduced. Some of the things are reduced because they didn't price it right. However, a lot of times this has been sitting on the market for a while. So if you see, some of these are since start of last year. I mean, some of them are actually not that long ago, because the market is a bit slow anyway. So you will see stock sat on there for a while. So this allows you to actually start looking at unlocking opportunities. What you can do, if you haven't been on PDI before, is you can actually get quick deal analysis for any of the properties which are on our platform. So this works across any of the properties which you're seeing. So you can do a quick deal analysis, buy-to-let analysis. I think Neil mentioned he wants to like to find a quick way. A lot of people are busy. I think, Teresa, I know it's been a hard one for you trying to get some time, etc. So these things can actually do quick analysis for you for any property, whether that is whatever strategy it is. But the buy-to-let analysis calculator which we have, it works quite nicely. And you can actually use it in quite a number of different ways. You can also look at whether you wanted to go repayment or interest only. Obviously, generally buy-to-let, you normally go interest only, but you can also see if the interest rates are going down or up, how does that actually affect your ROI? And ultimately, this kind of saves you hours and hours of work, which you basically would otherwise be scribbling on Excel sheets. And if you're actually having to create deal packs for clients, you can literally just with one click convert this into a deal pack and share it with your clients. And then you can actually look at things like if you're managing it for your client, or if they're self-managing, how do the numbers change? So all these things are actually allowing you to instantly generate this analysis. What it does is it kind of looks at some of the fields are, well, everything was pre-filled here. So we look at local rents using our own algorithms, the stamp duty calculator, etc. All of those things are already embedded in it, and you can see how long it's going to take you to get the cash, have your own capital out of it if you didn't do anything other than just let it out. But obviously you can do other things like leveraging, etc. So that's something which you can do, but this gives a good idea of what the market is like in this area. And if, especially for sources, a lot of people are trying to think, I mean, there are two parts of it, I always say, in the property investment life cycle. One is finding deals, and then the other is finding
Nitin,
investors. Yeah, so I think this is basically allowed. So I guess a lot of sources ask this, and a number of our clients are always asking, we are looking for investors. I mean, obviously, some people are more established than the others, and there are some people who are getting established, others are starting in a property. So we get all types of customers, people who are not bought any property ever, so they want to get into property sources, people who've got one-man band, 10-man bands, hundreds of employees, etc. So whichever camp you sit in, we've got solutions for you, depending on obviously what is more important for you. One of the things which was introduced, has been around for a while now, but sometimes people don't leverage it the right way, is how can you attract other investors? And people say, oh, I want an investor. And then when you have an investor, then you don't have a deal. When you have a deal, you don't have an investor. It has to go hand in hand. So you can actually leverage the deal packs feature or branding feature of PDI. So for instance, if we're just looking at this one, although it's kind of currently being marketed by Foxtons, but if you wanted to actually share, get a feel from your investor network, or even like share it on WhatsApp, and a lot of people are running rent-to-rent groups, or what's sales group, etc., buy-to-let groups, where you can actually share and then see who's actually interested. You can, with one click, generate branded deal packs. So you can literally personalize the branding, and then you can actually specify your title, your custom description, etc. So this is like your opportunity to actually add anything about sourcing fee, etc. if you wanted to add, or just whatever. And that allows you to actually create a deal pack, which is really useful. You can generate a branded deal pack in a few seconds through either a PDF or an interactive one, which can be shared on phones and your groups, etc. So, and that's got a lot of analytics. I mean, I think I've got a few people, I think, who are in this call as well. They've been actually leveraging those reports, etc., which kind of, I think, work really well, because you get an analytical alert as well. So for instance, this report just got generated with my profiles branding. This is one of our clients whose profile I've actually, was logo is on my profile, so that's why it's called them. But if it would be your your business branding, your logo, etc., all of this will be automatically set up, and it generates the reports in this format. You'd have your own phone numbers and stuff in here, and people can get in touch with you, and then they can, well, when you're looking at the interactive version, you can actually click on the reserve now button, which is also linked from the QR code, and you're able to send this information to your investors without having to spend hours or weeks or even just thinking about it. So this is very, very quick way to actually share it and say, I've got all these deals, are you interested in working with me? So that kind of cuts down the effort you need to make, and then can also give an idea of who's serious, etc. Plus also gives you the feel of, as a sourcer or a property investor who is looking for a co-investor, you're able to showcase that you're actually been doing all the hard work and due diligence. Obviously, you've got the trick of using PDI, but you don't need to tell them that. And you can actually basically also generate this in an interactive format with one click. And the reason I wanted to spend a bit more time on this was because this is applicable to anything which you do on the platform. So we will go through other deals, but I just wanted to show you this one very quickly, because that allows you to generate this and it's available on a mobile device, etc. And you can actually click on reserve now, and this allows you to actually get incoming leads coming to you. One of the tricks some of our clients have done is they've put some of these deals on their website as quick ways to attract people, because I mean, I'm not saying that's what you do, but you can always say that's now gone, but I can obviously help you with another property of that sort of thing, which is like a great trick in the old trick in the book, basically, where you basically get people interested. They can see you've got a lot of nice deals, and you can obviously keep replenishing them, because there's no shortage of deals on our platform as such. Okay, I just wanted to quickly come back. So you can actually do that in bulk here. What you saw was, so you can see all these agents who are actually marketing these properties, but a lot of people like to go direct to vendor. They don't necessarily want to go through the agent, but also sometimes it's just a case of testing the waters, because the agent might not actually put your offer forward if it's quite low. But if I think about this reductions in prices from when they listed, but I mean, this agent wouldn't have taken your 40% lower offer from the starting point if I was to think about it. So a lot of our clients who do bulk, like we buy any home kind of solutions, where they will be able to put down offers in bulk. What you can do is you can simply just press this button, which will allow you to get access to full addresses of all of these properties and create a outreach campaign. I don't know if this was the one with, yeah, so if I'm just going back to the earlier listing I was looking at, if you notice this button here where you can actually click the button to get the full address. So without actually going anywhere, you're able to quickly get the full address of that property. And if it's like if you're doing it for a specific property, you can actually just get the address and then knock at the door, leaflets, etc., however you want to do it. But if you want to do it in bulk, then a lot of our customers would utilize the contact vendor button here, which will be something like this. If you just click on this button, what it's doing now behind the scene it's automatically trying to extract all of the addresses for these listings, and will kick off an automated using our DirectMail AI platform. It's now already taken you to the DirectMail AI platform and basically starting to create a letter campaign within here. So effectively, by pressing at one button, you're able to now create an outreach campaign which will be delivering letters to all of these customers who are struggling to kind of sell their properties. They've been on the market for a long time, and you don't want to go through the agent. You can go directly to the vendors directly through here, and that's like a great trick which the agents have been using for years and years. And I think if you want to actually get in front of them, and or at least have the same sort of ability to actually do what the most sophisticated and the PDI agents are, how they're getting access to stock, you can actually use this. And then you can also import your own deals and stuff in here, which I'll
Sorry, this by just for email to contact them by email. I mean
yeah, this is
letters.
the direct mailing letters. So this will
Okay.
basically allow you to send letters in bulk. This will
Mhm.
automatically have well, basically, if you haven't already got your profile set up, then you can fill these. However, because I've already got my profile set up in PDI, it's pulled all these details from my profile, and you can actually create your own instant valuation widget, which is a great lead magnet. But this can also point to any other website page if you wanted to. And you can also brand these letters according to your brand colors and stuff, which is quite easy. You just change the color, and then if you don't know the branding settings, our team normally we normally as part of the onboarding sessions, depending on your package, we can help you out. But again, I think there was a thing in the this week's invite that anybody who signs up this week will be happy to do it for free, where our team can actually do the setting of your branding and everything to make sure your letters are looking perfect. And I think some of you are already aware, but possibly others might not be. So you can actually now send letters and postcards, because a lot of times people think the letters go in the bin and everything. So more and more agents are actually going with postcards, which are dual side postcards. So people, without even actually opening your letters, they can actually see what your offerings is. There are very few variations of the letters and postcards in here. You can simply just select whatever style you like, and then you can customize that. So whether you're looking for a postcard or a letter, you can actually simply just quickly go through that. I'll just use the letters for now. And then this has got some pre-existing templates. The reason I'm going through this is because you might be looking for rent-to-rent opportunities. You might be looking for people who are willing to take cash offers in a certain area, or you might be just saying, okay, we will basically give you a free valuation, depend on obviously what hat you're wearing, whether you're a source or investor or estate agent. This is used by a number of different types of clients. I mean, there are some pre-existing letter templates which have been highly converting for our other clients. But if you wanted to have your own or customize it, etc., that's something which you can easily do. So although I picked the sale one, but you can obviously send it to rent, etc. So if I'm looking at cash offer, let's just use this one. What this allows.
What about lease option agreements or purchase lease options? You don't have those?
These are just the templates. You can say whatever you like to say. It's just helping you create letters. So yeah, there's one for lease options as well on the previous screen. So ultimately, on this screen, you're able to edit it. Some people just use it as is, they're done in a couple of seconds. But if you want to change everything which is written here, you can do that. It's up to you. It's just basically what the important things to remember is anything which is in these brackets are curly brackets are they are basically dynamically picked, because we are going through hundreds of listings. In this case, it's about 65. It's now dynamically saying things like, I know you are with, or I am from so and so company. And then if in some templates it also talks about which agent you were with and what is the property's address. So that gives a bit of sense of personalization. So they think you've actually done all the effort to send them a letter, and basically it's for them rather than a bulk mail, which gives you more conversions. That's just how it is. And if you wanted to actually customize some of these things with landlord or whatever you want to say, so you can actually change these things and it will automatically change it. If you guys,
Nitin, sorry, apologies for interrupting because I have to drop off shortly. I'm
well,
just wondering, this is very impressive software. I've got to say, it's fantastic. But I'm specifically interested in deal sourcing rather than this is really not covering anything that I would be looking at, but it's very impressive. I will talk about it with my colleagues. But I'm interested in deal sourcing specifically around HMOs, and if we don't get to it, then I'll just
Now, I
be
mean, I
left with
think
a
that's
very
absolutely fine.
impressive situation,
So,
but nothing I can use yet.
well,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
I would, yeah, I think thanks for highlighting it. What you're looking at is actually used by all deal sources to secure deals. Which type of deals is going to be just determining how you get here. But all of the deal sources all over the country and agents who are looking to source the deals, because I know they don't call the sourcing in the agency language, but they're also obviously sourcing vendors, sourcing landlords, that they use all of this, what I'm just showing. However, in terms of who you go after is I guess your point. And you can actually look at
Yeah,
sourcing
that's
through,
that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, so I'm looking for HMO sourcing,
that's
and
right.
I was wondering, how do I find off-market deals? Because that's something that I think you mentioned earlier, and
Yeah,
I
so
couldn't figure it out.
sure, absolutely. So if you give me 1 second, I think I'll just complete this and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'll
finish off, but
yeah, fine.
if you
But this
can
is
get to it, that
relevant
would
to
be
all
great.
of the scenarios. So whether you're looking for renter and HMO, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. It's relevant for everything. That's why I think I wanted to make sure we can cover this. So who you send to ultimately, which type of customer, whether you're looking to source rental landlords, etc., or you're looking to source HMO, etc. So all those things can still carry on using this piece, which I'm showing here. But how you identify who you're sending, that bit I'm gonna cover in a second. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think this is just how you do what you can do in here. You've got a couple of options. You can actually either use our print and post service, which can basically be with one click. You can literally just have the letters getting sent and delivered to people. And I don't know if many of you joined last month's session. We had Charlie basically who told us basically when he introduced himself, we didn't realize. So he was just with us for 12 days actually, and within those 12 days he had just used this very service to source properties, and he was actually looking at both rent to rent and sale listings. So I think within his 117 letters he sent out in the first week, he had four engaged offers. He actually made four offers within those 12 days, which was quite a good success rate, basically, I would say. And he was quite happy. So I think he couldn't join. He was with kids and stuff today, but yeah. So that is also on the last month's webinar. You can actually listen in if you wanted to. But that's how the sources are actually accessing this and making use of it. But in terms of what criteria you're specifying, that's what we can actually show in a second. And then you also have an option to actually just generate PDFs if you have your own supply. This is only valid for if you actually have your own printing service or you want to do door drops, etc. Then you can have a low cost version. But quite honestly, if you go on in bulk, our pricing is super cheap. So this costs about 46p at high rates, etc. Even at the normal standard rate is about 80p, which is cheaper than the actual cost of a stamp itself. So which includes the sending and delivery and everything included in it. So that's usually quite a useful one, and you can actually look at other pricing options, and whether it's for you, you can actually do the maths through the ROI calculator. All right, very quickly, I'm going to go back and then making sure people understand how can you decide who you get in touch with, because the part of getting access to off-market opportunities, I think you mentioned, let's look at that. So one of the things which you have here is motivated vendors, and this is my favorite, and I guess all of the people who are really killing it with PDI, they just live off this feature, and it's super powerful whether you're looking for sales, renting, whatever. This is super interesting. This is a time when I can use some postcodes and outcodes. Anybody wants to give any sample areas, whatever, where are you looking for?
Nottingham, NG7.
Sorry, can't type NG7. Okay. Anybody else? Right. Otherwise, I'll just put my random stuff. Okay. Well, I think one of the points I'm trying to show here is you can actually add any number of outcodes we generally try and suggest. Oh, I wasn't far off. Look, Patricia, I could read your mind. So it was S10. So yeah, so I think you can go S10 or whatever, basically add a few of these. And what this can allow you to is also actually create AI alerts. So effectively, rather than a lot of times people have been complaining in the past, oh yeah, we saw your webinar and some demos, etc., but we now can't remember how to do what to do, sort of thing. And then the software is just sat there and you're not using it. And I think, Teresa, this might be useful for you as well. So where you can actually specify some of these filters and whether you're, and depending on which category or what sort of things you're doing, we can help you with some filter there, but then we are happy to kind of guide otherwise as well. A lot of time people are looking for rent to rent or even sale stock. This can actually show you everything. So whether you're looking for stock which came to the market today, or you want to look at stock which is no longer on the market, you just can't find it anywhere. And I think this whole convention of off market is a bit of like agenda, I would say, which has been sold in this whole of UK by all these property education companies. The way I look at it is simply, can I get access to a direct to vendor deal where I can actually find a motivated vendor who's willing to take an offer, which like basically, and that's how I look at it. Whether it's off market, on market, I don't really personally mind. Obviously, if you're very much interested in just off market, you can select any of these filters, which will allow you to do that. So, I mean, this is used by agents where sometimes they're looking to poach stock from competitors, so you can actually use that filter. However, I guess from the
Sorry, how does it work with the off-market stock? So basically, it's direct to vendors,
yeah,
or
yeah. So effectively, what you do is in here. Let's look at these two. And a lot of people are always very much about off market, and that's absolutely fine. If they have for whatever reason they want to just go off market, then that's absolutely fine. But you lose out a lot of deals. You can simply select these filters, which can basically allow you to say, show me all the failed to sell stock. I am not interested in anything which is like, and this is the reason it's called motivated vendor area is because if you think about at any given time, there are about 500 to a 100, well, basically 1 million properties on the market at any given time, and there are over 30 million properties in the UK. So everything else is off market. But just because it's off market doesn't mean they are wanting to sell it, right? So how do you identify properties which have people who are willing to sell or who are motivated to sell? So that's kind of where the filtering comes in, and that's where the prospecting, this is one of the reasons why we are motivated for all these awards, and why 2,500 agency branches are relying on us for that data. So you can actually leverage it in any way. Sometimes agents will go for anything and everything, read new ones, but a lot of people make money on the second instructions. And then if you actually look at this filter, which is failed to sell, and it also works for rental. So everything I'm saying works for both sales and rental scenarios. But with conscious of time, I'd obviously try and cover one, but it applies to anything. You just select whichever filter you want, and then accordingly, it allows you to look at that. So if you look at this stock, it's got all of these properties with all with full addresses, and it can still give you access to agents if you wanted to talk to the agents, because a lot of our clients who do this in bulk, although they have it, they say actually we just can't be bothered. We create relationships with these agents and they give us the deals because yes, it came with an agent, but then they took it off for whatever reason. They've struggled to sell it. They don't price reductions, etc., etc. Then basically they can still go back to the vendor and say, actually, I've got a client who's got an offer, so you can do that. But if you wanted to go directly in touch, as most of people want to do, then again, that's what the reason I was showing you the direct mail platform, where you can export all these things if you wanted to, and then do whatever you like to do. However, if you just want to say, I've now identified these off-market opportunities in NG7 and S10, and you can select, unselect whichever ones you like, because you might be looking at a number of bedrooms, they're looking at, I think somebody mentioned HMOs, so you might be looking at certain types of properties which you want to be looking at, and it all depends on whether you're looking at to get permission for these ones, or you want to
Can
be
I
looking at.
can you filter that for HMOs, or is that not
So if you're
possible?
looking at pre-approved HMOs, then you can simply do that through Deal Finder. So there is a filter
No,
called.
no, off market HMOs.
Yeah,
That's
so like I said, if you're looking, it doesn't matter if it's off market or not. What I'm saying is it's if you're looking at if some people like to apply for planning permissions, right? Other people actually go for only properties which already have a planning permission for HMOs,
Mhm.
right? So that's kind of the difference. So that's where I'm coming from. So a lot of our clients would basically work in this way. I think, Andy, you might actually have the same sort of thing where you guys apply for permission in some cases. Some cases you just go with existing ones as well, and they
Mhm.
do rent to rent, or I mean, you might call it HMO or whichever strategy you're looking at, because that's just got more money to be made. But if you are not wanting the hassle, then you can look at pre-approved HMOs. That's something which you can actually get in there as well. Okay, so sorry, just guys. I mean, I think the whole point is this is filtering here. You can actually do it by a number of things, and a lot of time people think, what should be the filtering? And one of the mistakes people sometimes do is they actually go after the latest stock. Depending on who you are, if you're the high street agent and everything, then fine, you might want to challenge everybody. But then other times you may not be the best option. For instance, like if you are actually going after people who've just got on with the Savills or a Foxtons or one of the top guys, and then you want to sell them a rent-to-rent solution, etc., the chances of them wanting to go with you within the first week are not that much. I mean, you might be great in terms of depending on your setup, etc. So you might be offering great things to your clients. Also, the problems is around they have a normally they already have a what do you call it, the single agency or basically they are contracted to stick with them for normally 3 months. You can actually use these filters where they're about to hit that before somebody else actually nabs them, because a lot of agents do this. So because we work with agents, we know the tricks in the book from both sides. So they actually try and go after these vendors because they have been disappointed by the first agent. They try and actually say go after them around the 7, 8 week or 12, 11 weeks period, because normally the contracts are either 8 weeks or 12 weeks. Sometimes people even have 6 months for whatever reason, but usually it's 3 months is the industry standard. So you can actually use these filters in a nice way because that allows you to go to them just before they are actually about to enter or renew their contract, which is a great way for you to say, actually, you know what, you've tried them enough. Why don't you actually come with us? We'll give you guaranteed rent, or we'll put corporate tenants in your thing, or if you're looking at a buy to let, etc. It depends on whether you're talking about a rent to rent solution or you're talking about a sales solution or even lease option sort of thing. It's always about what would be the motivating factor of somebody wanting to do business with you. If you're not the biggest brand in the country, how can you actually stand out? How can you go to these people and say, actually, I can offer you something which you may not be willing to listen on day one of your listing, but now it's day 78, and I see you've been reducing prices and everything. Can I just offer you 10% below market, well, 10% below whatever you were thinking, or 20%? So a lot of times, I mentioned the example of Charlie earlier. So their typical is, I think, roughly 20% below the asking price normally. And they would reach out to a number of people. And then there are some calculations which you can do if you can make cash offers and how that is attractive. That's a great way. And we've helped a lot of companies actually set up those one pages, and then you can plug in the lead magnet in there. And that actually works really well. If anybody's interested in how that can be used using PDI, and you can have a model for that, I can quickly show one page here, and feel
Could you
free to
help?
ask any
Could
questions in
you
the
help to
meeting.
show maybe I have one location where if you can demonstrate how to find off market deal.
Well,
Kens
these are all what we just looked at.
Kensington residential court.
Sorry,
I
I need a postcode for that. So if you can give me.
one second. Give me a
These are
second.
all Windsor demonstrated. So these are
I
all
give you the road because he wants specifically on on that specific road. Kensington
oh,
Court. 1 second. Should be SW.
so that would be your usual £3,000 or maybe more sourcing fee on in Kensington actually, if we find that deal for you now.
No, I charge 6K now,
Yeah, fair
not
enough.
3.
So that's it. That's 6K for you. We'll send you the invoice.
One second.
Okay.
I this one is for 12 million, 12 million acquisition. So he wants
Fair
to
enough.
buy a freehold.
No,
Uh,
jokes apart. I mean, we can definitely look at that in detail. So if you're looking at very bespoke, a certain pricing bracket, etc., then we can definitely look at in that way. So if you have outcodes, I mean, what you would do is exactly what we've just done. So you'll just specify the outcode in here, and if you want to look at a certain street, etc., you can filter. So this
1
is
second, just
like
a
a
moment.
pre-filtering thing here where you can actually specify, I don't know if it's not gate in this case. So you can actually search and do the filtering.
It's a W8, 5 dB.
So we'll just do the out code basically. Well, okay, there you go. So, well, nesting for, no, just 365 for now. So what I've just done is I've kind of widened the horizon simply because a lot of properties are staying on the market. The average industry, life cycle of every sale right now through UK wide is over 5 months right now because the market is a bit slow. And I haven't actually specified any filters here, so it's actually showing me both sale and rent stock. It's got both sales and rentals. You can actually sort it as well. A couple of things just before I open those things is how you use these filters. I mean, you might see here live, under offer, reserved, include, expired. So this is actually quite an important one, especially for the audience of this call, where you're actually looking at like stock which is no longer on any portal. So a lot of time people are more like worried about, yeah, if it's on a portal, then everybody is actually going after those properties. But if you actually look at expired stock, which is no longer on any portal, so if you go directly on the portal, you can't find it. But because we track all the properties, so you are able to find them with us. So you're able to actually look at all of the stock. So just quickly, you mentioned properties in there. So there you go. So you can't, like, this has got about a couple of mil. But what I've only done is it's only picked up 100 results. So it's actually in this search criteria, it's got
I have to
7,900.
select the building, let's say the freehold, not
Sorry,
individual apartments.
can you repeat that?
How to select entire building, a freehold, not individual
Yeah,
apartments.
so in this one, you will find individual properties. If you're looking at doing at a title level or a building level, so that's something which we can do as part of our bespoke sourcing, as I mentioned earlier. So if you are
Mhm.
looking at other criteria, very bespoke criteria, there could be other ways. If you're looking at title information, like all of that stuff, which we do for clients, owner and occupier, whether you're looking for portfolios or commercial, etc. That's something which you can do. So what you will see on the platform, these are single individual properties generally. So that's what you will be able to identify in whatever areas you are looking for. But if you're looking for specifically in a certain well, basically, if you're looking at block of flats or entire buildings, etc. So that's typically what our other hedge fund clients or asset manager clients do. So that's something which we do for them. So we can definitely help you, but that would be off the platform.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we got access to all of the properties. It doesn't matter whether there's single properties, commercial properties, everything. And then if you already know the areas, that's fine. Otherwise, we do work the back way, basically, where we can actually identify, start filtering it down in a certain way. A lot of times, customers are looking for hotels or even service accommodation businesses where they're looking to actually operate the entire hotels, low performing, underperforming hotels into service accommodation. So that's something one of our clients is actually utilizing us for. So we've identified all these properties with the leases running out, etc. So they've basically managed to put in either their service accommodation business, and then the other ones they're actually putting in charities and stuff in there. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff which we do behind the scenes. But if you want some of those advanced things, then we're definitely able to help you. So maybe if you have this requirement for the bespoke solution, then that's something which we can do. But it's kind of like normally a minimum spend for some of these things. One quick thing I wanted to just share on this screen, and maybe Andy, we should talk about that in detail offline.
Yeah.
But so we can definitely help on that. With regards to
Okay.
what you're seeing here, I think who gave me the postcode? I forgot now. Patricia gave, I think, and somebody else gave me NG7. I think Neil's gone. So yeah, so effectively what you can do is if you like some of these filters and if you're actually looking at fail to sell stock in this area, you can basically run this search again because I actually ran it earlier. So, and you can click on this thing once it becomes active, the prospecting alerts. which is super powerful. This is our AI working behind the scenes, so you can sleep while the AI actually finds these deals next time, so you don't have to come here and look for it. And you can specify, well, whatever you want to name it, but I'm just going to name it demo 5th November market. And then you can specify how often, whether you want it daily, weekly, monthly. It depends on however you prefer it. So I'll just put weekly, and then you can enable your alerts. So now what that does is it's now created a shortcut to my search criteria, and you can actually find it under your My Account section under the AI deal alerts. And if you see my account, it's got full of all these different types of alerts. Whether you're looking for repossessions, I think Andy, you was asking that. So
Yeah.
repossessions, and then you've got planning approved stock, and then there are a whole sort of
Mhm.
HMOs. I think Neil's actually gone now, but we should send this to him. So you can actually create all these alerts in whichever areas you're after. And then if you're looking for the motivated vendors, again, you can actually create all these fail to sell stock, rent to rent stock in different areas. And you can create these. And the other way I personally like to use them, they are like shortcuts. Where is the demo 5th November? So if I click on it, I don't have to be going around filtering and everything. It with one click, it's automatically.
Can I use AI agent from ChatGPT to automate? Would you allow to?
Well, if you're talking about API integration, so that's a separate thing from our perspective, but this is something which is already out of the box. So this one, which I've just created, you can definitely do that. Where I've just given you the link. If you guys are logged in into your PDI account, even if you're on a free trial, you can do that. You can actually just open this and then save it as an alert for yourself. You can obviously change the filters to whichever postcodes you're interested in, but it's a good trick to use that. I mean, if you click on this link, which I've given in the chat, it will automatically basically start sending you alerts every week, every day, whatever, however you configure it.
Mhm.
And that's quite useful because what that does is a lot of our clients, they're on the move, they're traveling to work or wherever, or from meetings. And then the reason I was earlier showing the direct mail platform is basically, so within here, if I thought, if let's just say I've selected all the right filters and I want to get in touch with these 100 vendors once every week, then you basically simply pressing that button and it's taking you directly to the direct mail platform, and it basically starts loading all those addresses in here and the journey which we followed previously. So that's pretty easy to do that. And one of the enhancements which we've done, and I forgot to cover that, is massively. So sorry, for instance, I think Andy, I'm sure you guys have like a big list, and I'm sure others are also possibly having a big list, or if you have an existing CRM where a lot of your prospects are sitting, you can simply generate a CSV from that, and then you can basically come in here and bring in your import your own data. I mean, and it's pretty simple. You can actually click the pre-formatted data from here. I'll try and quickly add, and this is also actually quite useful for if you were looking at different screens. So for instance, a lot of people say, actually, I was looking on deal finder, then I was looking in off-market area, then I was looking in motivated vendor area. So you could actually export them. There's an export button on all of those screens. So you can create all those in a single sheet, and you can basically just come in here and specify full address, and then it will automatically show you all the map fields. And that is basically now just allowed me to add 549 recipients in few clicks. So basically, even if you're actually not even bringing your leads directly through PDI, you have your own list, etc. That could be done in very quick way. And if you want to be having these campaigns where you send out one shot and then another shot in a few weeks' time, so that allows you to basically make sure you can just reach out to these people until you've closed about 50 of them. So that's something which a lot of our successful customers do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly go through questions, conscious of time. How can I use my personalized postcards and it to PDI to post them? Personalized different platform. Well, actually, I mean, Samek, if you wanted us to send it, post it, we can definitely discuss that. I mean, obviously, the beauty of using PDI is platform is you can actually customize these with your own colors and everything. So this is just a sample which you're seeing here. Precisely. And I think this is one of the main important part, because a lot of times people actually don't understand or don't leverage the value of direct mail. It's the single most what should I say, revenue generating thing for all of the big agents. I mean, I can't give any names. I mean, we were talking to one of our potential clients down southeast, so they have about over 100 agency branches. There's a big franchisee, and they spend about £1 million just on direct mail, and they don't waste that money, by the way. So they make a lot of money from that. And there's a reason why they do that spend, because that is absolutely the single best way of actually generating or getting access to direct to vendor deals, period. I mean, that's just how it is. A lot of time people get worried about too much about this and that and whatever. Of course, if you can filter out, it's better if you do razor sharp, which is why you come to PDI for. But it's better than, well, basically sending it to somebody is better than not sending it, is how I would say. Of course, you have to play with your own budget, whether you've got £100 budget, £50 budget, allocate a certain amount, and then just constantly do that, and you will be surprised. People have about 20x, 30x ROI on those things, and this ROI calculator can give you an idea on how much, how many letters you send. Okay, right. I think one of the other things is actually we wanted to quickly cover, because this is the most commonly asked question. Um, and I think just on your point, Andy, there is like a whole bunch of APIs which we offer if people want to power their own solution. I know with ChatGPT and AI, a lot of people are building their own solutions. So if you want to use our data via API, we do offer you automation, which is via APIs or bulk feeds. So if you are interested in that, we can give you guys the code for how I mean, if you want daily data feed, which is something you can do. But the AI deal alerts, which I mentioned, is exactly what you're actually trying to do. This already gives you that. So you can set your alerts, and it can send you daily top 20, 30, 50.
Okay, makes sense
Yeah.
then if you
So you don't actually have to build your own, because so you do that when you don't have it. You already have it, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
we should just create an alert and it's automatically
Exactly.
scrape,
So you
scrape data.
whether you want it every day, every week, and you can specify as many of these basically, and then they just come to you already. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Very quickly, Zhao, do you think there are any questions which I have not answered, or anybody? I think I want to flip it around a bit. If anybody wants to ask any questions, I know a lot of people have been listening quietly. So if you guys would like to maybe go off mute and ask any questions you may have, want to understand pricing plans, etc., because that's one of the most confusing things which people ask. We've tried to make it simple, but it's always questions around that. Anybody wants to understand anything on that, or if we haven't covered something which you asked, now is the time.
Our partnership with Klarna for 3 installments. If you
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, I think sometimes people have been asking. So okay, fine. Thanks. So we did send out an alert. Well, a few weeks ago. There's been a lot happening, so I keep forgetting it. Thanks for reminding. So we have two types of plans. Agent plans, which is where most of the magic happens, and I think most of the people are on agent plans, which basically gives you access to all the direct to vendor stuff, which our agents normally have. But then if you are using the agent plans, you can also act and get in touch with vendors directly. So you can actually use these plans, and then they come with both yearly and monthly options. The currently, and it's been a very long, we should stop this discount actually anyway. So, in the yearly plans, there's been massive 50% off for the entire summer now. But they basically give you 50% off. So instead of the 1998, you can actually get it for 999. However, if I see the same plan, it's actually 166.58. So monthly is a little bit more pricey. However, it's still very good value. But then if you go yearly, you can actually get it for much cheaper. But sometimes our customers have been asking, actually, we can't afford it straight away. And if you want to just split the payments, etc., we now actually support Klarna, which is not part of PDI, by the way, for a change. So we partner with Klarna. Well, we basically use Stripe, which offers Klarna payments. which actually allows you, if you are eligible for splitting the payments into three. I believe there is no interest, but again, it's not our product, so don't quote me for that. However, you can actually split the payment into three. So in a way, it's a good trick which some of our clients have been using. So I thought I'll also share it with others as well, where they basically get the 50% discount by going annual. However, they don't actually pay it in one month. They end up paying in 3 months. But again, all financial Klarna is a credit product, so be careful if you are essentially looking to take it. Make sure you have the means to pay it, otherwise it can go on your file, etc. So all those things are applicable. Anything else I have missed? Also, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, if anybody does sign up this week or pick up any of the plans, we will be offering a complimentary one-to-one session, so we can help you set up any of your AI alerts. And we've been talking about very bespoke stuff. So some things, if they're hard, we can help others set it up, and then also your branding and everything, so we can get some of the campaigns set up and sent out as well within that session. And yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good way to start before the holiday season kicks in. A lot of people are actually making the most of it while the market is a bit in a flux. So yeah. Okay, where are we? Where are we? Did I miss anything? Yeah, I think one of the points, just actually while we are over here, we have a whole bunch of APIs. As I said earlier, a lot of people are looking at and then using it. So we are powering other businesses, and I think some of the questions which you were asking earlier, so they could be either offered to via API solutions, or we do bespoke sourcing, depending on obviously if you're technical or not. So we have APIs which can actually give you data which you can then build your own solutions and etc. etc. But this is generally for enterprise clients or anybody who's actually interested in doing it in bulk. These are some of the data points which are available, whether you're looking at valuations, or something which we didn't cover. We have a very detailed valuation report and comparable reports which you can generate. You can get performance data, market forecast, sold prices, prospecting API coverage, and planning information. So a lot of times people are, this is a very new addition actually. We've now got one of the most comprehensive planning data. So essentially both historical and current. So if you wanted to look at what your likelihood of approvals, etc., is, or how many planning applications are there near a property, etc., etc. So all those things are available via our APIs as well. So you can actually get access to that. A lot of times, one way of using some of this data is like when they are applied for a planning, sometimes people actually go and source those properties. And again, shame that Neil's actually now gone. So he was talking about HMOs. So you can actually look at all the planning data where you've got a planning approval. So before somebody's actually done it, because now you know that planning has been approved, you can actually use that data to get in touch with them again via direct mailing or just by walking in or driving into that property, depending on whether you're looking at one property or thousands of them. So those things can actually be done through us. It's tricky to actually try and cover everything. There's so much which we do, but hopefully this has given a bit of a flavor of how you can actually utilize the platform, and we can actually like discuss a little bit in depth separately if you still have any questions. We normally keep sending out emails where we have a call me Alex kind of an option where you can actually talk to our AI agent. And when you talk to the AI agent, it extracts all the information which you guys give it, and then our team's monitoring it all the time. So we are able to then get in touch or provide you the right information effectively, because we couldn't add more hours in our day, so we decided to clone ourselves by AI agents, and that allows us to talk to any number of you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think, as I mentioned earlier in the call, if anybody is interested in actually having us help you guys with your outbound or incoming AI agents, where you want a custom agent for yourself, then those things are also available as part of our bespoke packages. So that's something we can talk about if you are interested in it. If you can actually add contact information, Zhao, so basically anybody who's interested can book a time with us or get in touch if they have a very bespoke requirement.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So yeah, in the chat we've just added the direct line and also the company email address. If you have any requirements, then please send it over to us, and then accordingly we can give you a specific answer to how that works. All right, I think I've taken a lot of your time, so I'm not going to keep you guys for any longer, but hopefully this has been useful. We'll try and maybe share this on our YouTube channel as well. But feel free to get in touch again. And if we missed anything, I know Andy, there are a couple of things which we need to touch base on. So we'll ping you after and let's get in touch in a couple of days. But others who may have not been able to speak because of where you guys are, happy to help. And I think, Samik, if you wanted to understand how you can customize the postcards and stuff.
So basically, why postcards is better than letters currently? Because you can see it straight away, basically.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I think they both have pros and cons, I would say. But postcards is one of those which is there up in your face even if you were to decide to bin everything which you receive.
I don't know. I, for example, printed out like 200, 300 brochures, and I used to go like myself, in Covent Garden to drop my letters, brochures. Zero calls.
Well,
That's why,
Well, I think this is kind of, I think I remember having this conversation. Obviously, you can actually add QR codes within our postcards or well, actually the letters and stuff, and then you get of course, you can actually add QR codes in the image, which you can add in your postcards to us as well. So that would basically allow people to download this full brochure because it can be pricey depending on obviously what their ticket size is. So there are solutions to some of those things. So yes, it's all
But
about
let's say imagine that. So let's say Covent Garden, you have a, main door, and it's like mansion buildings, there is no lift, and you only have one door, but behind the door you have like 10 flats inside. And there is not even post box. You're just sending one brochure through the main door, but you can't get access to the building and go itself, then how these guys who distributing these letters, are they coming inside those
Well,
buildings
I
and
think this is not a leaflet drop. This is a proper professional Royal Mail deliveries. So these are delivered as any Royal Mail letters would be delivered. So this is not a doors. This is not like a leaflet drops.
yeah.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, again, there are different scenarios, different solutions for things, so you can decide. I mean, which is one of the reasons why we also have the option to do the PDF of those letters or postcard format if you wanted to try yourself. So basically, if you wanted to just templatize it for thousands of them, don't have to be wasting time, then you can just get that through our PDF only service, which can then be hand delivered or however. But that's
Mm.
another way of doing it. But listen, I think I don't want to keep everybody out, and I really want to
Okay.
make sure people can get back to their families. So, but you know how to get in touch with me, so you can obviously ping me, and then we can have the rest of the chat then. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Sharon, for joining us. I know you've been listening quietly, and Bob. And who else have I missed? Patricia and Teresa. I think we definitely need to catch up, Teresa. See if we can kind of get you access to some of the opportunities we've been talking about before. But thanks a lot for joining. Hopefully this has been useful, everyone, and look forward to having you again. Thanks. Have a good evening.